Guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my 9-month postpartum update, aka my 9-month in, 9-month out update. I really think these ones are interesting because I just like that concept of like being able to show when you are 9 months pregnant versus 9 months postpartum. So stay tuned to the end. I will do a postpartum belly shot and comparison for the 9 months in and 9 months out. But other than that, just be sure to subscribe for more videos of different motherhood, baby, and lifestyle content. And check out my Instagram down below. It is at Becca Halm, and I am always over there as well. And we will get into this whole update. Now, for the record, I'm going to kind of go into maybe a little bit of TMI stuff, but I really want to share just the realities of postpartum and what my body is like now. So I have a couple different talking points, and I'm just going to kind of share with you guys what is up as someone who's 9 months postpartum. Ignore my background. I didn't have time to clean up because the baby is not really napping. So the first thing I feel like a lot of people wonder about for postpartum is the hair loss. Now, if you can see here, I've got a lot of hair loss going. This side, definitely you can see a lot of hair loss. If you can see all that in the front, this is all, I think, regrowth now, this little part here, because it's kind of thicker. So I do think it's starting to grow back. And this side isn't quite as bad, I guess. However, I've always had issues with hair loss due to being like anemic and stuff, so it's not weird for me. For me personally, I had a lot of hair loss in the beginning, and that's actually why I got my hair cut shorter, and it really slowed down for a long time, and then around like 6 months postpartum, it really sped up again. It was really weird, but I think it should start stopping now because I know my hormones are starting to regulate again because I have gotten like my period and stuff, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. But yeah, I've had a lot of hair loss, and it's just something that you deal with. I don't think it's a huge deal in reality, but I do think it should start slowing down pretty soon here with my hormones regulating. But as you can see, I've had quite a bit of it. I feel like I should talk about your first postpartum period here because at my 9-month update, I actually have had 2 postpartum periods. I had my first one a little after 6 months postpartum, and I had my second one at 8 months postpartum because they're really far apart right now, and that is because I am still nursing, so it does take a while to start regulating to like your old cycles again if it does go back to that. So they are a lot longer right now because of breastfeeding. But it really wasn't bad. A lot of people say that their first postpartum periods are like the worst thing ever. They're painful and heavy and horrible. And honestly, neither of mine were bad at all. I really didn't have much cramping, and it was honestly like a really healthy period both times. So as much as nobody likes getting their period, for me, totally not worse than before I had a baby. So hopefully that can make some of you guys feel a little bit better and less scared about that. Next thing is breastfeeding. I feel like a lot of people always want to know about that, the real deal on what your boobs are like. For the record, your boobs will change no matter what, whether you breastfeed or don't, because you're gonna have milk come in no matter what. So for the record, it is kind of a myth that breastfeeding does it. No matter what, if you have a baby, they're not going to be exactly the same per se. However, I will say, since we're not nursing as often, they're definitely not like big and full like they were before, but I really don't see a huge difference otherwise at all to what they were before I had him. They're pretty much the same. They actually might be a tiny bit smaller than they were before pregnancy instead of bigger, but I really don't see a huge difference, so it really doesn't bother me at all. So if that is a reason why you don't want to breastfeed, I would totally say don't worry about the aesthetic part. It really hasn't made a difference to me. Another thing I feel like a lot of people wonder about that we might as well just talk about is sex. A lot of people wonder about postpartum sex. A lot of people, it starts out really rough for a lot of people, and they want to know if it's ever going to go back to normal. And I just want to share my experience because this is what you guys are here for. It was a little, I don't want to say painful. It was a little uncomfortable at first because I had a lot of trauma in delivery. But honestly, it went back to normal pretty quickly. I would say after that 4th trimester was over, sex really started going back to normal. And honestly, there are times where it's better than it was before having a baby. So I really don't think you guys should worry about that either. I know a lot of people really worry about it not being normal or good or like it used to be or whatever. But for me personally, it is not any different at this point. There's going to be a little bit of a weird period in that very beginning when you first start trying to have sex again, just because you went through a trauma giving birth to a watermelon. But personally, I have had no further issues past like just the healing phase. No problem here at all. I feel like I should touch really quick on mental health as well. My mental health actually has been great. I haven't had much issues with like postpartum depression. I've had a little anxiety, I'd say, but that's really just because of all this coronavirus stuff. But I've been really good most of the time, and I think it's because I do have a good sleeper most of the time, so it really helps me to get good sleep, and that is a really big impact on your mental health. I know a lot of people around where I am postpartum can have some issues with postpartum depression as they start weaning, and for me personally, I haven't had that issue, and I think it's because I weaned really slowly. Oop, he's making noise. Because we went from nursing full-time to like cutting out 1 a day very, very slowly, and we currently are still nursing about 3 times a day, but I think since we've cut down so slowly, it hasn't like caused any craziness in my hormones all at once. All right, the last thing I want to update on before I do my belly shot and stuff is baby number 2, TTC. That's something that I've touched on a couple times, and I feel like why not just mention it and update in this 9-month video. Is when do we want to have baby number 2? And if we're being honest, I'd already be pregnant by now if I could, but one, I wasn't ovulating and getting a period until very recently, and also there's all this virus stuff going on, so I'm not pregnant. I probably won't be super soon, but we do still plan hopefully on starting to try when Bubby turns 1, which is in August. So that's my little mini update that we are still hoping to try in August and go from there and see when it happens. So I will update more on that as it comes, but yeah, that's where we are with that too. All right, you guys, so I'm going to quickly do my 9-month in, 9-month out comparison and do my 9-month postpartum belly shot here, but that is it otherwise for my 9-month update. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, comment below, and let me know. I don't know, just let me know what other videos you want to see here on my channel, whether it's like motherhood or lifestyle kind of content. But yeah, that is it for this video, and I'll see you guys next time.
Show me what it's like to be circling among the clouds, because without you by my side, I would be stuck here on the ground.